History is not only the tale of kings, emperors, and battles. Sometimes it is the story of a single person, a spark, that changes the world forever. And this is the story of a slave, a gladiator, a legend. Today I'm taking you into the darkest days of Rome and the brightest cry for freedom. Welcome to the world of Spartacus. When Spartacus was born, the world was already under the shadow of Rome. He grew up in the rugged mountains of Thrace, where he learned early what cold, war, and freedom truly meant. In his youth, he fought against Rome at times, served as a mercenary at others. He was a warrior, but above all he was free, until the day the Roman army captured him. When iron chains clamped around his wrists, Spartacus experienced the first fracture in his life. They believed he would never fight again, never be free again, but they didn't account for the fire in his heart. Spartacus was sent to the infamous gladiator school of Capua, owned by the ruthless Lentulus Batiatus. Here, the value of human life was equal to the applause of spectators. Training began before sunrise, brutal, relentless, merciless. Wooden swords used like real weapons, hunger, thirst, whiplashes. Gladiators had only one right, the right to die. The arena was not a game. One side watched, the other side bled. Inside this hell, Spartacus grew stronger every day, learned to endure, and most importantly, he planned his escape. Tension in the gladiator school grew with each passing day. Many gladiators preferred dying on the run over dying in the arena. With his courage and intelligence, Spartacus naturally became their leader. One night, slaves working in the kitchen snuck weapons into the barracks. They weren't real weapons, only knives, metal skewers, and sharpened tools. But for Spartacus, Crassus, and the others, it was enough. "Even if we die today, we will die free," Spartacus whispered. And that night, one of the greatest rebellions ever to challenge Rome ignited. After the breakout, Spartacus and his men sought refuge in a nearby mountain. At first, they were only 70. But within days, runaway slaves, oppressed farmers, and even free people who hated Rome joined them. This was no longer just a rebellion. It was a movement, a rising of the people. Spartacus built a disciplined army. He became not only a commander, but a leader of civilians. Because freedom was not the right of one man, it was the right of all. Rome realized this too late. The rebels quickly devastated the southern regions of Italy. The Roman units sent to suppress them were not prepared for Spartacus's guerrilla tactics. One Roman legion was destroyed, then another, and another. The Senate panicked. How could a band of slaves defeat the Roman army? The answer was simple. The rebels fought for freedom. Roman soldiers fought for duty and coin. This difference changed the course of the war. Rome eventually turned to Marcus Licinius Crassus, the wealthiest and most ruthless general of his time. Crassus formed a disciplined, merciless army and began cornering the rebels. By now, Spartacus's forces had reached nearly 70,000 people. But not all were warriors. There were children, women, elders. It was like a migrating nation. Spartacus's goal was not to destroy Rome, it was to bring these people home. Spartacus led his people north towards the Alps. The plan was simple: cross the mountains and return to their homelands. They reached the foothills, freedom was within reach. But part of the army hesitated. Some wanted to stay and plunder Rome's wealth. Others asked Spartacus, "You brought us this far. Why not march on Rome?" This internal conflict became Rome's greatest advantage. Crassus blocked Spartacus's path to the Alps, forcing him south. Spartacus outsmarted him once again by using fake campfires to escape. But the escape did not last long. Their last hope, escaping by sea, failed when Roman bribes persuaded the sailors to abandon the deal. The rebels were slowly being driven into a deadly trap. In 71 BCE, a heavy silence hung over the battlefield. Spartacus walked in front of his army for the last time, wounded, exhausted, but unbroken. Today, we do not fight merely to survive. We fight for every soul ever chained. We fight for freedom. The final clash began. The Romans outnumbered them overwhelmingly, but Spartacus charged into the enemy lines again and again. Some accounts say he sought Crassus directly, that he killed a Roman centurion with his sword, that he was pierced by spears yet kept fighting until he finally fell. His death marked the fall of the rebellion. His body was never found, but his name was never forgotten. Crassus won the war, but Rome was horrified by what came next. Along the Appian Way, 6,000 rebel prisoners were crucified, a road of death stretching for miles. It was meant to be a warning, a show of Rome's power, but instead it left a far deeper message in history. Those who die for freedom are never truly gone. Spartacus never became a king. He ruled no empire. He wasn't even the hero of his own people. Yet he became one of the most powerful symbols of freedom in human history. His story was retold for centuries. It inspired abolitionists. It became a symbol for justice movements. It echoed through modern times as a reminder that the desire for freedom is stronger than any empire.